Have you ever been in a work meeting and someone makes a sexist comment and it just kind of hangs in the air? You look around and wonder, why did that one person speak up but everyone else stayed quiet? It's a tricky question, right? Well, some fascinating new research might have just found the hidden psychological switch that decides who acts and who doesn't. Just listen to this story because it might feel painfully familiar. This is a direct quote from a woman in the study. She said, "I made a suggestion. My male supervisor told me I probably have good ideas, but this wasn't the time. Then I told another male coworker about my ideas, and he told the supervisor, and the male supervisor listened to him." It's that classic, infuriating case of an idea being totally ignored until a man says the exact same thing. And you know what? There are actually words for this. Researchers have dubbed it Hepeating or Bropriation. It's a specific kind of workplace sexism where a man basically hijacks a woman's idea and then gets all the credit for it. Now, this all fits under a bigger academic umbrella called Competence Questioning Communication, or CQC for short. It's when someone's ideas are subtly doubted or challenged just because of their gender. It's this quiet, insidious way of keeping people, especially women, in their place. And the impact is huge. Get this, one study found that when women were faced with a sexist incident, they said nothing at all almost 2/3 of the time. 66%. I mean, just think about that. That is a massive amount of silence. So this brings us to the big question, the mystery at the heart of all this. What is that invisible force that makes someone break that silence? What's the hidden switch that flips a person from saying nothing to saying something? Well, that's exactly what this research wanted to figure out. And the answer, it turns out, is a really powerful psychological idea called the Metastereotype effect. And here's the twist. It's not about what we think of other people. It's about what we believe they think of us. So let's unpack that. A metastereotype is not your stereotype about another group. No, it's what you think their stereotype is about your group. It's like you're trying to see yourself through their eyes based on the stereotypes you think they hold. It's a total mind bender. Okay, let's put it side by side to make it super clear. A normal stereotype is simple. It's just what I think of them. But a metastereotype flips the whole script. It becomes what I think they think of us. You see that shift? It turns the focus completely inward. And that, right there, is the crucial difference. But hold on, there's one more ingredient that makes this all click into place: personalization. This is when you believe that whatever stereotype they have about your group, they're applying it to you specifically. It's the difference between knowing a stereotype is out there and feeling like it's been stamped right on your own forehead. So how does this actually play out for women in these situations? The first study dug into exactly that, looking at how these metastereotypes shape their reaction to sexism. And what the researchers found was this incredible chain reaction. So it starts when a woman holds a positive metastereotype. She believes men, as a group, see women positively. Then she personalizes it. She feels that positive view applies directly to her. And that feeling, it boosts a sense of personal responsibility, which then, bam, makes her much more likely to actually confront sexism. So the bottom line is, feeling like you are seen in a positive way and on a personal level can be incredibly empowering. It makes the idea of speaking up feel less risky, less scary. It feels safer. And it shifts from being a potential personal risk to being a personal duty. Okay, but what about men? The second study looked at their side of the equation, and it turns out the psychology is totally different. For them, it wasn't about a sense of responsibility. It was all about protecting an image. So researchers found that when men saw sexism happen, they had a very clear preference for how to respond. They were way more likely to amplify the woman's voice than to directly confront the guy who made the comment. So what on earth does amplify voice mean? Well, amplifying voice is this really smart, powerful form of allyship. It's when you publicly step in and say something like, that was actually Sarah's idea first, and I think it's a great one. It gives credit back where it's due and endorses the idea, correcting the situation without getting into a big, messy confrontation.
Now for men, the psychological pathway went down a different road. Just like with women, it started with a positive metastereotype that got personalized. But instead of triggering a sense of personal responsibility, it activated a concern for their group's collective image, for how men are seen. That's what motivated them to step up as an ally.
So basically, it boils down to this. When a man believes that women see men in a positive light, he's motivated to intervene to stop another guy from messing up that good reputation. Allyship becomes a way to protect the brand of his group, if you will. All right, so we've got these two very different psychological reasons for why men and women might act. So what? Why does understanding all this metastereotype stuff actually matter in the real world for making our workplaces better? Let's just boil this all down. First, what we think other people think about us is this powerful, invisible driver of our behavior. Second, feeling seen in a positive and personal way is the real key that unlocks action for everyone. Third, for allies who want to help, amplifying voice is a fantastic and effective strategy. And finally, and this might be the biggest insight of all, maybe the best way to improve things isn't trying to change stereotypes, but to change the meta-stereotypes we have about each other. Which leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. If the belief that we're seen positively is the key that empowers us to stand up against sexism, how do we start building workplaces and whole communities that actually create more of that feeling?